You're on administrative leave, now what? So you've accepted the Deferred Resignation Program, DRP 2.0, some version of that. Now you're on administrative leave and you kind of feel like this weird in-between space, right? So you're not officially retired, you're not working, but you're still getting paid. And we've made the big decision point of leaving federal service. So it kind of just feels like this waiting period. But I would encourage you to be proactive during this time because there's still planning to do, and this is a great opportunity with maybe a little more flexibility than you've had in the past to do it. So I want to talk about some things that we can cover now within the next few months while we're still on this administrative leave to really get your plan in place, updated, so you can feel confident about that transition into whatever it is that's coming next as you leave federal service. So we're going to talk about some great actionable things here in the video today. But first, I want to start off by acknowledging the pause. This is a rare moment where you get this opportunity to actually get organized, reflect on your career, reflect on your life, and, plan moving forward without the pressure of the daily grind, right? Of the daily work that we've been doing for so long. So take advantage of this time period to do that. And one of the first things that I would do is I would get really clear on my benefits. This is probably something you've double checked, but I encourage you to triple check, right? And I'm talking about specifically the FERS pension to start off with. So the FERS basic annuity is something that you're going to take a look at. We know how the formula works. Your multiplier times your years of service times your high 3. So you get your estimate there. If there's a special retirement supplement, you've probably gotten the estimate from your agency as well. Those numbers are important to check, but I would encourage you to look at the service computation date as well as your salary data, because this OPM is notorious for getting some of this stuff wrong. So you don't want to leave any dollars on the table. Make sure you're getting what you should be based on, the right data. So that's something really important to triple check. And then I would also encourage you to take a look at your deductions. So we're talking about the survivor benefit elections, if you're carrying FEGLI into retirement, if that's something you're considering, tax deductions. So you can get really clear about how much income is going to be coming from your annuity after some of those deductions, what you're going to have to work with in your day-to-day to pay your expenses. Important stuff. How the special retirement supplement is going to factor in there as well, the period of time that it's going to last for. Keep in mind, there's not going to be any inflation riders on your annuity income until you hit 62. And there's never an inflation rider on the SRS. Actually ends at age 62. So you've got a period of time there for most folks, it kicks in at MRA with this special retirement supplement and runs until age 62. So cost of living adjustments a big deal during that time period. What's the plan to keep up with them? So getting clear about those benefits, taking a look at what's going to be coming in from your annuity and potentially the special retirement supplement. Really important stuff to double check. What goes hand in hand with that is actually updating your retirement income worksheet. I talk about this all the time, and there's countless case studies on the channel here that you can reference where we're talking about actually building retirement income worksheets for federal employees. That's what we love to do. And your retirement income worksheet includes that FERS basic annuity that we just talked about. We're going to want to look at your Social Security estimates at different ages. We're going to look at your investment income that's coming from different accounts, TSP, retirement accounts, other taxable investment accounts, trying to put it all together to get a good idea of exactly what does your retirement income picture look like? How much can you expect to be coming in? So then we can take a look at your expenses, get really granular about those expenses. It's something I would do now too. How much are you spending now? How much do you expect to spend in retirement? Probably going to be pretty close. What we find is usually 80 to 100% of your current spending is what we carry forward into retirement because, you might lose some expenses, but you pick some other ones up. So get really clear on building that retirement income worksheet, income minus expenses. Hopefully we have positive cash flow. And if you don't, there's some work to do somewhere, whether it's actually going back to work for a period of time, just kind of trying to solve that puzzle a little bit. One thing that I would point out here too is coming up with a plan for those gap years. So what we see is a lot of the high level federal employees still have a lot to offer, a lot of skill and experience, and they want to continue to serve, but it's just not right anymore within their current agency or their situation. Maybe it will be in the future, but going back to work in some fashion, whether it's an encore career, passion project, something they find really meaningful to kind of supplement income, until we get to those, later retirement years, the gap years as we call them, until you hit Social Security eligibility age. They can be tricky to plan for, and it doesn't mean necessarily just because you're eligible for Social Security at 62, you automatically start taking it. There's other considerations and decisions to make there too. They carry some weight. So a bit of a mouthful there, but you get the point. Updating that retirement income worksheet to see exactly how things are looking for you, firm up your plan, important stuff. And what happens if you do go back to work? So because we didn't mention under your estimates for the pension, there's an earnings test that applies to the special retirement supplement. So also something to consider there. All right, so updating your retirement income worksheet, your income plan, really important stuff. And it goes hand in hand with that, organizing your financial plan. If you don't have one, create one. If you do have one, update it, okay? And a one-page plan can be a really valuable tool within that context. I like to create a one-page plan just as a reference point for accountability. It also helps me track progress that we're making. And my one-page plan is simple. At the top, I put goals, what I'm trying to accomplish. Beside that, I put what I'm working on. I'll list out some action items under that, some real specific stuff that I want to push forward. Then I'll put some milestones beside that, what I've accomplished this far that helps me, stay motivated and on track. And then I'll list key stats. And really what I want to do there is just kind of track where we're at. Some of the key things that come off your balance sheet, right? So, what your net worth is, talk about the income summary. If you're saving money, what the percentage you're saving, your gross income, if you're taking money from a portfolio, what that percentage looks like, right? And so just really you can put tax allocation numbers on here too, the percentage of pre-tax, Roth, taxable money coming in or within your balance sheet too. So interesting stuff to track there. And beyond that, running some projections. So how much flexibility do you have? Test your plan. We talked about that retirement income worksheet. Test your plan to see, do you have positive cash flow? Do you have a gap? How are you going to bridge that gap? What are your options for working? All those kind of things go into getting organized, building a financial plan. And then really one other thing that I would point out there is a great opportunity to check in on your investment allocations. So this is something that we've seen, it's been a bit of an issue this year, actually. So we've got a lot of folks that are considering retiring, maybe even thinking about tapping their investment accounts earlier than they should. If you're going out at 55, 56, 57, starting to tap your retirement accounts now, it does present some challenges. But more than that, we're seeing heavy equity exposure. So folks in their 50s that are going into retirement still carrying 90% or more of their portfolios in equities. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong here. It's just a lot of exposure to equities within that allocation. So think about what's right for you based on, risk tolerance, needs for income, future goals, all those kind of things. Great chance to check in and say, what do I own? Why do I own it? What's the plan going forward? Is there any opportunities for change here? Next on my list, think about work on your terms. So as we're testing that plan, what does it tell us? Do you need to go back to work? Do we need to generate some income from another source? Start networking, start exploring what opportunities are out there, right? With your skill set, your experience within your marketplace, anything that you would be comfortable with. Do you want the encore career or do you want to find something that's just flexible and meaningful to you? So start testing that, think about that on your own terms. This is a great opportunity to do that while you have the time over the next few months. This is a super personal decision. It's whatever aligns with your goals and what you have going on within your situation and your resources. All right, I'm gonna finish this up with two other additional points here. So we're gonna talk estate planning, tax planning. Okay, so these two things are important too, and it's a great opportunity to take a look at both these. So if you have an estate plan in place, great, perfect. If you got your documents, they're updated where they need to be, wonderful. If not, here's a great opportunity to update them or establish them. Things like a will, power of attorney, trust, updating your beneficiary designations, making sure everything is exactly as it should be according to what you want to see happen in the future. Great opportunity to take a look at that. And then tax planning as well. This is another good opportunity. So with things changing, coming out of the workforce, maybe your income situation changes a little bit, your tax situation is going to change as well. So take a look at that tax allocation, or we're referencing tax diversification, which is simply the amount of money you have tied up in different account types from a tax status. Okay, so pre-tax, Roth, taxable accounts, they all carry different benefits, different rules. Take a look at it, see what makes sense in your situation. Is there any planning to do there as your situation evolves and changes? Is there a Roth conversion window? Do you want to start taking money out of a pre-tax balance that's maybe a little bit too big? You want to start reducing that earlier and kind of getting ahead of the tax bill. So look at those kind of things as well. Perfect opportunity to sit down and do that and do some heavy lifting on the financial plan. Threw a lot at you, but I think it's important. A lot of this stuff, we have the opportunity to sit down, look at it, get organized, get ahead of the curve a little bit. Don't feel like you're in this weird in-between space. This is a great opportunity, as we mentioned, to be proactive. So would love to hear what you're working on, what some of the questions, some of the issues that you're facing, as you plan for whatever comes next, transitioning out of federal service. I'd also love to just hear about some of the bigger challenges you've already overcome. So please feel free to reach out and let us know what you're working on, what your questions are, or, some of those wins. Love to hear about the wins. All right. So if you found some value here, we'd love if you give us a like and a subscribe, share with a friend or a colleague, and we'll see you next time.